Samantha Taylor's Hugs and Tugs is a Yahoo Sports fantasy football league made up of 14 owners, each of whom, regardless of background, is a humongous asshole. Made up of 13 real owners and one idiot named Greg, Samantha Taylor's Hugs and Tugs crosses all boundaries to form the most irritating group of people in the United States. In fantasy football, knowledge is everything. Knowledge is what separates man from beast. It is also what separates the rest of the league from Greg. Greg has a black belt in getting his ass kicked in fantasy football. Despite having no business participating in a competitive league, Greg somehow still has a spot. Greg has been given more undeserved opportunities than a black kid applying to college. The next owner on our list is John Russo. Although he is currently ranked last in overall points scored, Russo has high hopes that players such as Ryan Broyles, David Wilson, and Brandon Jacobs can take his team all the way to the middle. According to league sources, the worst part about being in the same league as John Russo is being in the same league as John Russo. All kidding aside, I admire your sports knowledge, you're a cool guy, and I think you're very, okay. In Week 2, Voodoo Child suffered a hard-fought loss against the Stone Cold Stunners despite putting up nearly 100 points. When asked to comment on his team's chances this season, Jared had this to say: "Don't let my team's 1-1 start fool you. This team is capable of losing way more. Anything short of 5-11 would be a failure." Bold words from North America's top-rated retard. After his Week 1 loss to Wine Her Dine Her, Brett Cohen posted a league-wide message reminding everyone that if a team goes undefeated, they get all the money. He went on to make posts about the Apollo moon landings, British tea time etiquette, and various other things that have nothing to do with his team at all. In related news, Brett Cohen's favorite barstool at Applebee's sustained a season-ending injury after supporting his weight for an entire football game. If at first you don't succeed, you must not be Jordan Cohen. Jordan Cohen is the greatest owner in the history of fantasy football. A mosquito once bit Jordan, and it turned into a bird. Jordan's penis is so huge, the tip of it is covered in snow. Jordan Cohen can thumb wrestle my entire body. Jordan Cohen can eat water. Jordan Cohen can braid a bald head. Pete has somehow managed to field the team that doesn't have a single exciting player on the entire roster. After having a terrible draft, it was obvious that he has no idea what he's doing, and his win was a total fluke. Pete basically confirmed what everyone pretty much already knew. After making a video in which he appears shirtless and surrounds himself with homoerotically charged images of other large athletic men, Pete once again basically confirmed what everyone pretty much already knew. Although Pete likes watching Monday Night Football at Applebee's, he admits that it's hard to find an Applebee's in Narnia because the restaurant chain hasn't opened a location that far into the closet. The next team on our list is Fly Society. I don't know if you guys know this, but David is a sexual submissive. He loves to be dominated, which is the only way to explain why he would draft Brendan LaFell, Santonio Holmes, and Alshon Jeffrey. When he's not intentionally trying to lose in fantasy football, David spends his free time planning his dream wedding because he knows it's the only time in his entire life that he'll ever get a ring. Mario Daddario is extremely knowledgeable about football. If anyone ever built a Hall of Fame for great fantasy football owners, Mario would get to be a tour guide. With players like Tom Brady, Larry Fitzgerald, and Owen Daniels, it's easy to see why his team is such a strong contender to completely dominate the standings in this year's People magazine's 100 Sexiest Men Over 30. Although he is locked in a heated rivalry with Jay Falk, he has a real soft spot for his competitor. It's called his butthole. Chris, the owner of the team For the Kids, says he's extremely excited to watch his superstars play. He says, "There's nothing quite like seeing Andre Johnson run crisp routes, get good separation, and then be overthrown by Matt Schaub in the end zone. Or like watching veteran Frank Gore rumble past Seattle's defense for 16 yards on 9 carries. When asked to comment on the rest of his lineup, Chris said, "Who the fuck is Conderell Patterson?" Upon hearing the news that their unit was drafted by Jay Falk, every member of the Kansas City Chiefs defense considered following in the footsteps of their former teammate Javon Belcher. With a dangerous tandem of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and the explosive duo of Doug Martin and Daryl Richardson in the backfield, J-Falk is poised for a first-round playoff elimination. Although his team is only ranked 5th, J-Falk is the league's all-time leader in getting his dick sucked by Mario's sister. Thomas, the owner of Team Sandusky Ass Slammer, is somehow a worse coach than his team's namesake, Jerry Sandusky. Tom is expected to have an outstanding season that will ultimately result in nothing. Never will a team with so much accomplish so little. Justin Schreiber can expect his star-studded lineup to carry him all the way to just missing the playoffs. When asked why he drafted such shitty players like Mike Tolbert and Greg Little, Schreiber said he wanted to relive the experience of what it's going to be like to cheer for the Jets as they fight for 3rd place in the AFC East. On a scale of 1 to 2, how good of an owner is Schreiber? As the only fantasy owner in the known universe to lose Week 1 with Peyton Manning, Justin Schreiber has proven that the only team capable of beating Justin Schreiber is Justin Schreiber, and also anyone else. It's easy to see why Rob is currently in 2nd place with the most points overall. Upon visiting his league profile page, you can see all his distinguished medals celebrating his brilliant exploits, such as adding a player to his watch list, winning 1 regular season head-to-head matchup, and joining a live draft. Watch out, everybody. You're dealing with a 2-time winner of the Toyota Tundra Lights Out Medal of the 2011 season. The Renegades of Funk currently lead the league in overall wins, total offensive yards, and using the F word in videos. His football knowledge is unmatched. His memory when it comes to league transactions can't be touched, and his facial hair totally does not make him look gay at all. Out of all the owners, John was the most excited to start the NFL fantasy season as a change from his mundane everyday life spent playing fantasy baseball, fantasy hockey, and fantasy basketball. Can someone please tell him none of this is actually real? And that concludes today's segment on Samantha Taylor Hugs and Tugs. Fuck all of you.